Hello once again, this is Gil Magno with the fourth installment of the Road to Victory. Do not watch this video until you have watched part 1, 2, and 3 of the introduction to the Road to Victory, so you'll know what it's all about. The book, you're probably wondering, or some of the people are wondering why I'm doing this. And some of them are liable to think, well, he wants to make as much money as possible by selling this book, and blah, 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 blah. Well, let me tell you something. I wrote this book because I felt that I owed life something. Because what I have to tell you, I believe, is the key to starting a new civilization. I do have no doubts about it at all. I've thought a great deal for quite a bit of years. So, actually, in the beginning, when I wrote the book, I sent the book out free to many people. And then a very important person who passed away about a year and a half ago told me that people do not value what they get for free. There is a law in nature and in the universe which requires that you make an exchange. I give you something and you give me something. And free things just simply don't work. There is an exchange. Now, you may say, well, but you're doing this for free for the YouTube. Well, no, I'm doing it for myself. I get something out of it. First, I get satisfaction, great satisfaction. It's part of my purpose in life. And my purpose in life, aligned with the purpose of life itself, is what gives me success in everything that I do. I'm not saying that to show off. I'm saying it because it is true. So, watch the part 1, 2, and 3 and then stay with this video. If you are watching this one right now without going through 1, 2, and 3, just go to part 1. You'll have a better grasp on what's happening. Okay, another important thing that I forgot to tell you is that people join groups, organizations, and they send emails to everybody in the world because they want to change the world. Well, I'm telling you that it can't. It's not going to happen that way. And I can prove it. I used to do that myself. I spoke that in the last video. The great benefactors of society, the ones that changed the world from one day to the next almost, were men who were rationally selfish, who, as I said in the other videos, they were concerned with their work, themselves. That's part of the turn on. Turn on, turn in, drop out. Turn on. Turn on to yourself and to your interests. And as you do that, you automatically will change the world and society. It's very simple. So, some of these men were Thomas Edison, who revolutionized the whole of life with his discovery of the electric light. Then you have Einstein. In the arts, you have Johann Sebastian Bach, that integrated all of music, and Alexander Graham Bell. These people, they didn't join groups to change the world. They just were interested in what they were doing. They had a purpose in life. That's why I keep harping on this. Get a purpose in life, align it with the purpose of life itself, which you have to discover. It's in the manual, and everything is going to go fine. So now, today we're going to go into the book itself, from the very beginning. Now, if you want to order the book, it's on my website, and I don't care whether you get it or not. As I say, I'm doing this. If you're interested, you stay with it. That's all there is. There are some things in the book that I cannot place into this format. One of them is an initiation that you have to do by yourself in the back of your house or in a park or something like that. I cannot put that in. It just doesn't work. And a few other directions that I cannot put in here. Everything else is here in this video. I mean, a succession of videos. Okay, the dedication. I dedication this book. I'm going to read you the dedication. This manual is dedicated to you, my young friend, and to all those who have suffered at the hands of a confused world, but unknowingly blame themselves. In this manual lies the door to a new world of peace and plenty and personal freedom, constructed and totally determined by you. Okay, the next thing comes a foreword. This is interesting. I like this. This was written by one of my famous students. I'm sure you've heard of her, Fannie Lou. She has a bestseller, and she's been performing all over the place. And she wrote the foreword to the book. It says, "The contents of this book form a philosophy of life and living to which I was exposed unknowingly all the time I was studying voice with Gil Magno. Right now, from my first lesson, I noticed that this coach was different from others. With his maestro long hair and steady eye, I could make up my mind as to whether he was a saint or a sinner. However, toward the end of the lesson, I could clearly see that I was indeed in the presence of a real artist who thought much about art and life. I was able to see and feel this because something in him touched me inside when he said, quote, 'If you put your mind to this art, your magnetism will make you known all over the world.' And so I made singing my purpose in life. That was 5 years ago. Now I perform ceaselessly in 2 continents. I spoke about myself as an introduction to the philosophy in this manual. Now let's talk about the manual. In general, Magno's approach to the problems of life is unique. He represents it simply and harmoniously, yet with great depth throughout the book. It is indeed a spiritual work, and by spiritual, quote unquote, I don't mean religious. To me, the idea of one's alignment of his/her purpose in life with the purpose of life itself in realms 1 and 2 in the book is the great secret. It begins to work almost instantly. My purpose is singing, and when applied within the purpose of life itself, it makes people happy, inspired, being in touch with their emotions, and, as he says, it brings them poise, balance, warmth, passion, love, understanding, and sensitivity, unquote. With a few simple words, Magno lifts the arts to a realm that was lost for a while. Then, sexuality and love are looked at from a progressive viewpoint based on biological nature of humanity and objective principles, not goody-goody ideas from never-never lands. The reader gets prepared to create his/her own life and to even create his/her own world. A special initiation is given that one can perform alone, which will symbolize the creation of his/her own world. This book is one of a kind. It even alludes to one's creation of his/her own abode after body death. In my estimation, no one should be without this magical book. Read and think slowly, with no hurry. The slower you read and think, the quicker will you attain your desires. Fannie Lou. She was twice #1 winner in the Billboard's tropical charts. Heard her single song, No Te Pido Flores. Okay, this is the introduction. And excuse me for 2 seconds. Okay, I am back. Exactly 2 seconds, right? Okay, introduction. It has been my observation for quite a while that the world and the people in it is experiencing a necessary devolution in order to be able to engage in a greater evolution. We have been on a downward path for a few years, and presently we are about to hit bottom. This is the devolution to a greater evolution that all spiritual sages and teachers in the past have spoken of. This is not difficult to observe. This is happening all over the world right now. Earthlings are naturally concerned with what's going on, and many are doing their best to correct the faults and lies of life on this planet.